Morning, everyone. Richard Cowperthwait for Northwest Access TV. Thanks for joining us for our bi-weekly For the Record St. Albans Today show. Happy to have St. Albans Mayor Tim Smith joining us. And I guess a late scratch for Brendan Deso, the St. Albans Town Select Board Chair. So, Tim, just you and me, see if we can soldier through a half hour. I suspect we can probably do that.
I don't think it'll be any problem, Richard.
I don't think so. Good to see you. Boy, hard not to jump into coronavirus, that situation. Numbers kind of going the wrong way. Boy, especially within the last week. State had, a couple of days over 100 cases. I guess 3 more deaths, up to 72. But anyway, you noticing any more restrictions? I did note People's Trust in Enosburg. I assume all their branches, but I tried to walk in there about a week ago, and they're down to just kind of, I guess maybe by appointment, but drive through now. But other banks, 2 other banks I've gone to, you can still walk in. But are you seeing any more restrictions coming up at this point?
I'm not. I mean, you're correct. People's Trust did have. They've closed their lobbies. That started on November 23rd.
Yeah.
So, I think they're just trying to stay ahead of it, and by appointment only. The other banks I had not noticed, and I haven't noticed of any. I mean, there's a lot of office buildings that haven't reopened from day one.
Yeah.
You know, City Hall being one of them for the most part, except by appointment. The state office buildings. Downtown, I believe Derringer still has been working from home for the most part, since back in April. So, although with that, I know CCD has moved into their new space, in the Congress and Main building. I don't know what their guidelines or restrictions are relative to the public, but I think they made the move, but they still have people working from home. So timing's not good for that, for them.
Yeah. But the move was made. They're now downtown.
I did a walkthrough probably 2 weeks ago. And,
right.
All the furniture was in the building, not in place.
Yeah. Has anybody else moved in there, or has anybody else moved in?
No.
Okay.
So going back, my day job for SIDC, my main contact is with manufacturers, and all of them continue to operate as they have for the last 8 months or 7 months. And they, I think our manufacturers would be commended due to the fact that they've had 1 or 2 cases diagnosed, and they've handled it more than appropriately. Yet they've been able to keep people working, and and they're very stringent on the guidelines and maintaining those guidelines for their employees. So I'm not hearing anything different from the manufacturers. I do know that many of them could use more employees for sure.
Wow. So we're back to the issue that's been such a huge issue for them and with your job.
Yeah, the workforce development is going to be the issue. We'll talk about that for 20 years.
Forever.
There's a lot of discussions about people moving into the state, and Franklin County is no exception to that.
Yeah.
I've heard secondhand of people buying homes from Nevada, Oklahoma, Colorado, Washington. So we're seeing it here locally. Other parts of the state are seeing it probably more so, where you might have the second homeowners and a lot of people moving into those homes.
But maybe it sounds like probably not so much people who are moving in and looking and needing or looking for jobs.
And that was going to be my point, that a lot of these people probably can work remotely.
Yeah.
Probably more on the upper skill set for employment.
Yeah.
More of that. My guess it would be college educated type. But at the same time, hopefully, more people upon graduation will choose to stay in St. Albans or Franklin County. So that would be helpful.
Yeah.
So
A huge story nationally, of course, unemployment benefits, with, again, Congress still unable, not together to come up with another kind of relief package. But you hear every national newscast, people getting desperate, running out of unemployment by, like, I guess the end of this month. I'm not sure that's the same situation in Vermont. I'm just wondering if that's happening in Vermont, if that frees up some people who might be needing a job in the not too distant future. But I'm not sure the Vermont effect to them.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know where the unemployment fund stands. If you look at 12, 13 years ago when the recession hit, I know that we exhausted our unemployment fund, and that may soon be the case here. I don't know that for sure, but if it is, then we'll see an increase in unemployment tax.
I haven't heard anybody talk. Of course, for folks getting unemployment, they've been able to not have the requirement, I think, for months now, many months, to not have to look for other work. I'm wondering if the state, I haven't heard anybody say, well, maybe it's time to take off, maybe it's time to put that requirement back in, which you would think might get some more people looking for jobs, but I've heard nothing about that.
Keep fogging up, Richard, that's why.
Same, I can relate,
I'm not, with the upsurge in COVID cases, my guess is that
probably the last time they're going to put that requirement back in.
Yeah, it's going to be a while, I think. I think they're not pushing anyone to go back to work if they don't feel comfortable.
Yeah.
And so it'll be interesting to see how that develops.
How's the school situation? You can, of course, with your three kids. How's the school situation?
I think we talked a couple of weeks ago. My youngest is back to school 4 days a week, and that's working well. My middle son, or my middle child, is going back tomorrow for the first week so he'll go Monday, Tuesday off today, and then Thursday, Friday. So he'll have his first 4-day week. It appears, in speaking to a teacher, that the 7th and 8th graders probably do not have the capabilities to have that 6-foot distancing, at least at the city elementary school. And that may be a little longer process before they figure that out.
The BFA situation, do you know what that?
The tech center went back full time, from what I understand, but BFA is still on the, because same thing, the classrooms are so small and space is limited that they can't bring in a full class. So they're still on the 2-day-a-week hybrid model, I guess. So, just passing, we're getting off COVID a little bit, but it appears a connector at BFA, which probably was long overdue, is close to completion.
Yeah.
I think they did a nice job on that. It's interesting to see how many different types of brick there are between all the expansions they've done at the high school, but it seems to look good. I think high school may be a little slower in getting back to full-time.
Speaking, it just made me think of something. Speaking of brick, was it the Vermont Brick Company in Highgate that had a pretty good run, and they've been gone for a while? Was that a case of just running out of raw materials? It seemed like they were doing pretty well for a while.
Raw material was definitely not the issue, because they were pulling clay from the actual parcel. They owned 170 acres out in back of the plant.
So that wasn't the issue.
That wasn't the issue. The issue was it's a higher end. There's a couple things going on with Vermont Brick. There was a higher end brick. It's called a water struck brick, which is a harder brick. And I thought it was a beautiful brick. Ace Hardware was done with Vermont Brick in St. Albans. The People's Trust Banks were done with that. So there's a number of UVM. The Davis Center was done with the Vermont Brick. The issue there is the recession hit. That was back in
2008 or so.
2008, and I think they held on to about 2010. They struggled. The problem is that in some ways the Vermont Brick masonry companies, because it's a harder brick to lay.
No, really.
Because it absorbs so much water from the mortar mix. And so when it went out to bid, masonry companies would say, well, if you used this brick, we can save you $10,000 on our bid, or $30,000, whatever it was. So they were, even though it was in my opinion, a better brick, and you sometimes had a hard time finding people to lay it. But once they did it, it was, they became accustomed to it. It was a better product, in my opinion, in a lot of people's opinion. So, that's long story short, or short story long.
Tim, you said CCV is now officially moved to the new building downtown across from City Hall. Has work started, or what's the situation out at the old CCV headquarters, the new police station?
Yeah, no work started yet. Yeah. They've been meeting with engineers and architects to come up with that plan. I think the plan is to start doing some demolition in January. Yeah. Start doing some work there. So
hope that that'll be the new police station headquarters sometime next year.
For sure, yeah.
For sure.
Yep.
And speaking of police, again, any news on the search for a permanent police chief for St. Albans?
Yeah, two police issues actually. One is we have over early part of November, we did 15 interviews for people interested in being on the Police Advisory Commission.
Right.
And we chose 7. And all of those individuals have been notified. And the expectation is they will be meeting here, if not this month, starting in January. Yeah. So that, I'm thinking it may coincide with the selection of the new police chief. So new police chief, they had about 15 applicants. It's currently narrowed down to 2. Interviews are going to be held, I believe, on Thursday, tomorrow. And I'm not sure what the process is relative to interviewing, whether that's, I know it's going to be a committee process. I'm not sure exactly who is on that committee. I think it's made up of 5 individuals, all community members. I think there's someone from NCSS, from the school system, I believe. So there's a few different makeup of the panel that's going to be interviewing. I'm not sure if they'll go to a second interview, depending how the first one goes, I guess. But there are 2 individuals that are being interviewed.
And Morris Moe Lamont, the interim police chief, is one of the 15 applicants for the permanent job.
Yep.
So that's an appointment. City Manager Dominic Cloud makes that appointment with the consent of the council?
Exactly.
Or?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So seemingly early next year, it sounds like? Or?
Yeah, we could be January 1 on board with the new police chief and the police commission, and I'm excited about the structure. I think the advisory commission will be very good. It's it's going to be a process trying to figure out exactly where their responsibilities lie, but I think we'll make some good headway in that, and it'll be a fluid scenario. I mean, maybe some things that we thought were appropriate may not be, and other things that weren't maybe. So we'll feel it out and see how it goes.
And staffing-wise, of course, the city will lose its contract with St. Albans Town come July 1st. Doing okay staffing-wise with City PD at this point?
Yeah, I think we're good staffing-wise. I'm not sure, if there's some attrition between now and July, we would not fill that.
Right. And Highgate, I assume that was a 1-year contract. That's up June 30th as well, I assume?
I think that got renewed 1 year. So I think we're in our 2nd year, actually.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. So
that was renewed.
Yeah, for one more year back.
Okay.
Actually, I think we even added 6 hours to it. It was originally 24 hours of service, and I think we moved it to 30, if I'm not mistaken. So, and I think I haven't heard any complaints. I think Highgate's happy with the with the partnership with the city PD.
Okay.
I know some press releases I've seen. The city have played a substantial role in solving a few issues, and so I think Highgate's happy with it. I guess we'll know more here come June.
I'm going back to town meeting. I can usually catch at least some of the Highgate town meeting, and there was select board members. I think the chair had very good words for city PD. I'm going back to the last March town meeting. But anyway, so changes. And the police advisory commission, will that be monthly meetings or not that often, quarterly? Do you know?
Yeah, actually, we've talked about that a lot during the interview process when we were interviewing candidates. I think the intent is monthly to begin with, until they get their feet on the ground and try to figure out what the responsibilities are. And then, either as needed or definitely not as needed. I mean, it would be more probably, the expectation is probably going quarterly. And if there's some other activities that arise, then they would be as needed on top of the quarterly. So that's sort of the thought. It may prove to go every month, but right now, start off monthly and try to get to a quarterly scenario.
Yeah. For folks, anybody watching us live, I trust there's some folks out there. Give us a call if you feel so inclined. 528-5315 is our number. So here we are, early December. Council budget work, I can only assume, underway for the next fiscal year 2022.
Yeah, no doubt. We're the budget committee has been meeting. I know city manager and finance director were meeting yesterday, putting some additional touches on. So those have been ongoing and moving forward for sure. So
how much of a hit, Tim, is it clear? How much of a hit with the coronavirus situation on the municipal side? A significant hit revenue-wise, or?
I just emailed Tom Lights, the finance director, 2 days ago, and I may get these switched around, but the delinquency on property taxes is about $300,000 right now, and water and sewer is about $150,000, or it could be switched. I think I'm correct when I say it's $300 for taxes.
And are those numbers, is that fairly typical numbers?
Yeah, they're pretty typical. They're not skewed in any way. So we're optimistic from that perspective. So yeah, those are the numbers, and those are pretty much what they are. And it varies from depending on the timing of billing and whatnot. But on average, those are sort of what the numbers are across the board. Any given year. So,
and of course, you've got LOT, local option tax money, starting to come.
Yeah, I was going to mention that.
Numbers yet, have you?
Yeah, I was going to mention that. So we started October 1. Right. So our first quarter obviously won't be till the end of December.
Yeah.
We probably won't know what that number looks like until February or early March.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see what it is. It'll be interesting to see how we can utilize that to maintain taxes for sure.
Yeah.
The last thing we want to do is have any substantial increase in the tax revenue.
Yeah.
So we're optimistic that that's going to be a big help to us moving forward.
One of the radio news headlines this morning that I woke up to was just with the education fund taking a beating for the state, property taxes maybe on the education front heading up maybe by 10% or so. Just kind of a headline I heard, but we'll see. Obviously, board legislators, good luck to the legislature. It's going to be, especially maybe for the next budget, going to be some pretty tough times, you'd think.
And is that because education expenses are up due to COVID?
I guess, again, I just pretty much caught the headline on it. I guess my thinking was just because the education fund itself was just down, having been depleted enough or just down, but I didn't really get details on that. But the reference was property taxes on the education front, maybe heading up to about a 10% increase, but it was just pretty much a headline story.
The other piece of that, which I think is going to be interesting on how it sugars off, is all the new. I mean, the real estate market appears to be going gangbusters.
Pretty active.
And how will that? People are paying over asking price, paying over appraised value. What will be the impact on that across the board here in the future? It may be lead to a quicker townwide appraisal so that to maintain that, I think it's 80% value.
Right.
So it'll be interesting to see what impact that has moving forward as well to the education fund. So.
Right. Health of downtown, we kind of touched on it, but no big changes on businesses. Most businesses hanging in.
It's tough, Richard. We're sort of in limbo. I mean, the merchants downtown are doing a great job keeping their doors open.
Yeah.
I think the city has been active in pushing the downtown dollar cards, trying to get those out. We received a grant to purchase some and to get them out on the street. I think Chip Sawyer at City Hall was selling a $10 downtown card for $5. A limit of 5 per person, I believe it was. So, which isn't a bad deal. I mean, you get $50 worth of product for $25. So we're working hard. I just put a post on Front Porch Forum as well. But we're working hard to get the word out on those downtown dollars. I just bought 15 for my kids' teachers. But we're just trying to get those out so people can get downtown, utilize them during the holiday season or soon after. So we're hoping that that's going to play a role in helping the downtown merchants for sure. And those cards, I think 35 businesses downtown signed up so you can use them at Red House Sweets or Jeff's Seafood, Twigs, or As a Crow Flies. Any one of those places you can use these cards. So we're pushing that. I know they did the shop local, shop small this past weekend. They seem to be generate some traffic as well.
I'm seeing if you spend $100 at a lot of the downtown businesses, you have a chance to win the $500.
Yeah, $500, another raffle.
Prizes, whatever raffle.
A lot of initiatives trying to assist the businesses. They're all have struggles for sure.
Yeah.
And we're just doing our best to try to help them keep their doors open.
Yeah.
So
I guess the good news on the coronavirus front sounds like the vaccine news sounds pretty positive, very positive these days.
Yeah.
Sure sounds like that's what it's going to take, obviously, to just really start turning this thing around.
Yeah. So just let me go back to downtown.
Yeah.
So downtown, kudos to Heath McAllister and his crew for lighting up downtown.
Downtown looks beautiful. And I was going to if Brendan were here, I would have told him and walked down at the Bay Park every other day anyway. The Bay Park looks beautiful. Taylor Park looks, and the downtown looks terrific.
I was almost headed to Kilcare yesterday because it was so nice, but I didn't make it. But I need to drive by the town park. I saw some of the banners up.
That's great. And the Christmas tree they put up, I mean, it's beautiful. Did a really nice job.
Yeah, I'll go by tonight. But downtown in the city looks great. A ton of compliments. Years ago, before renovation, when I was with the rec department, Dean Pelkey and I did all the downtown trees. And I think we did some in the park, but that is a lot of work. I mean,
is that right? So you two did all that?
Yeah, Dean and I did it years ago. Not nearly as many trees as there are now.
Right. I bet that was a ton of work.
No, it's it's easier. I say it's easier. It's easier now in the sense that we've wired the trees and we've wired the park differently, so you don't have to run a 100-foot extension cord to access power or get up into windows of some of the upper apartments and businesses.
Yeah.
But it is a lot of work, and they've done an outstanding job. And I just sent out my letter, mayor's report that goes out with the water and sewer bills.
Yeah.
And I mentioned that I think there appears to be a lot more home lighting that has occurred.
The governor is certainly encouraging people to do that.
In my defense, I wrote it before the governor mentioned it, Richard, but
Good for you.
I don't want to look like I piggybacked on. But the neighborhoods look great. Need a little snow maybe.
Yeah.
But I encourage the same thing. Let's get out and light up. And we lost all of our events. We lost the tractor parade. We lost Festival of Trees.
Running of the bells. I was psyched with my buddy Alex. Yeah.
Yeah, ringing the bells. The tree lighting ceremony. So we lost all of that. Yeah. And I think the tree lighting in downtown and in the neighborhoods gives people a little something to do to take a nice, last night would have been beautiful, take a walk, take a drive, look at the decorations. And I would add that the rec department is doing their decoration contest. I think they've accepted 15 applicants. So I think if you go online and you look at where the 15 are, you can go, and I think you can get a scoring sheet offline as well, and you can place your scores for the top home that's been lit up for the holidays. So.
Yeah, no, it sounds like a nice initiative for folks to, hopefully add some joy to what's going to be not the happiest Christmas season. Boy, the border, I just wonder when. I guess Justin Trudeau, the Canadian PM, I guess, saying, hey, don't look for the border to open unless we make significant progress on this, presumably after a vaccine's been pretty widespread. But boy, it just seems like the border, here we are, early December and stuff, but boy, it sounds like it's going to be a while. But geez, hopefully at some point next year, if the vaccine, is out there enough. But tough situation with border county with just so many people obviously can't go north or come south.
No doubt. Although I have seen a couple Quebec plates recently, I'm not sure how they managed to do that. And if I had a chance to talk to him, I would have. But I've seen one at Highgate Shopping Plaza and one downtown St. Albans.
Really interesting.
I'm not sure if those were ones that were located previous to the border closing. But you're right, the border closing is huge. Not much. It just seems odd that you can't go to Montreal if you wanted to. But the other thing I would share is that. For families, most sports activities have been, whether it's a high school or youth sports, those have been suspended. The summer and fall, it was close to looking like normal with baseball, softball, soccer, swim team. But now we're sort of going backwards on that as well. High school sports have been suspended through early January, I believe. So,
boy, tough situation. Down to about a minute, Tim. Anything else we haven't touched on? You want to quickly touch on?
Just reinforce that. I mentioned this in my report as well, that we have to stay vigilant and continue to wear the mask and social distancing, and as hard as it is, we stayed home for the Thanksgiving, and it wasn't the same, but it was nice. The other, the holidays coming up will be similar. Just encourage people to maybe make the sacrifice for 1 year, we hope, and try to restrict the amount of flow of the virus. So.
Hopefully next year will turn out a lot better. Tim, thanks a lot. Good to see you.
Richard.
Thanks to St. Albans Mayor Tim Smith. Thanks for watching us, folks. Thanks to producer Roger Lindola, our key guy here. And again, hopefully we'll be back in a couple weeks. Stay safe out there, folks. See ya.